Tomi Loren is on top of her game as always. She humiliated and destroyed a stupid Democrat on live television. Let's see how it went down.
Well, let's start by talking about a governor you like probably a lot more than our governor, Ron DeSantis, and his vow that leftism needs to be destroyed. Do you agree with that? Is that a bit over the top?
No, it absolutely isn't. And when we're talking about leftism, we're not talking about Democrats or the Democrat Party. We're talking about wokeism. We're talking about radical leftism. And I 100% agree with our governor that that needs to be destroyed. And you're seeing a lot of Americans, not just on the conservative side, rejecting wokeism because it's just simply gone too far, as we've seen, especially in the last few months. So conservatives, and I believe just rational Americans in general, are putting a stop to it with their wallets and with their feet, as you see the great exodus from California. Sorry about that, guys. But I think leftism is already being rejected, and I think that a governor, Ron DeSantis, and a president, Ron DeSantis, would eliminate it and just get us back to the good old conservatives, liberals, Democrat, Republicans. I think we can move forward with that.
Oh, she's so right. I love Tomi for this. Recently, one can hear more and more often about the leftist and left democratic trend in American politics. The results of the recent congressional elections, for example, are cited as evidence of the existence of such trends. This year, several new representatives of the Democratic Party appeared in the House of Representatives, who are quite radical. Representatives of the left wing of the Democratic Party were also in favor of putting more pressure on President Donald Trump, demanding his impeachment long before the centrists led by Speaker of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, initiated the process.
Well, the Regressive Party, of course, speaks its mind through this idea of ending anybody who opposes them. We're seeing that in legislation in red states across the United States right now, denying the existence of certain people even, and refusing to teach the history of what actually has happened in this United States. Of course, destroying any other political party and any rational mind like that, if the only thing that needs to be destroyed in this world is Nazism and the idea that we kill people whom we disagree with. So no, obviously we need people with different political ideologies to have rational, growing debates that challenge our beliefs so we can progress as a nation. Look, if you destroy the idea of what Tomi just described as leftism, you would still have slavery. You would not have a Civil Rights Act. Women wouldn't be able to vote. And, transporting minors across state lines might have a different outcome than they are today. That's actually progressive politics that got those things taken care of.
God, he's stupid if he thinks that. It's not a progressive movement. It's an aggressive one. French philosopher Guy Debord wrote back in the 1960s about the transformation of democracy into a society of spectacle, referring to the growing power of television and the erosion of content from public debate. But what was a beautiful hyperbole in the 1960s became a description of real processes in the 1990s, not least because the ruling elite managed to successfully integrate former protest leaders, intellectuals, and often left-wing mass political parties into its system, depriving social movements of practical prospects.
Well, let's also keep in mind, I don't know if Ethan is a history buff, but let's keep in mind it was actually the Republican Party that ended slavery. So I just want to note that for him. But again, I find this very frustrating when folks on the left talk about how the right or conservatives want to eliminate people. Saying that we don't want adult men dressed in drag gyrating in front of children does not mean we want to eliminate drag queens or gay people or trans people. We want to keep the integrity of women's sports. We want to protect children from grooming and sexualization. That's not eliminating absolutely anybody. But of course, this is what the left has to put forward, that somehow the right wants to eliminate or even kill people that we disagree with. No, not at all. We simply want to keep the innocence of children and women's spaces for women. I don't think that's too much to ask for.
What is happening in the U.S. right now is rather ironic. The pursuit of equality has ultimately led to a new imbalance of power. As we know, the arrow doesn't turn, so any white guy or man is bound to feel guilty for oppressing all non-men, even if he never did anything of the sort. So much for the modern struggle for equality. This is what the left is fighting for. Tomi has made it clear and prioritized her party. The desire for normal relations between all people and rational thinking in all aspects. What do you think about this? Write your opinion in the comments and don't forget to watch other shocking news on the channel.